CAL Chat. This is a show where we talk about our favorite Al-Anon and Alateen literature. And today I have a very special guest. BJ is joining me today. Hello, BJ.
Well, hi, Pat. I certainly want to thank you for the opportunity to share what Al-Anon has done for me, especially the literature. And I love this idea of a podcast. Great idea.
Oh, thank you. We talked a little bit about your favorite piece of literature and one special reading that you wanted to select. So if you can let us know what book it was and what selection it was.
Absolutely. I think if I had one book that I would dearly love to have beside me at all times, it would be Al-Anon's One Day at a Time. It's one of the 3 daily readers. It was the first one published, and I got it many years ago. I think if Al-Anon literature were children, this would be my favorite child.
Oh, I'm sure you love all your children.
I do love all my children, but this would have to be my favorite. This particular piece of literature has impacted my life tremendously.
And there was a very specific reading from this daily reader that you were honing in on.
Absolutely. I'm going to get to that one page, but I want to set the stage, if I may, for just a minute, as to the word I'm going to be using. So everybody is on the same page, at least with my definition of serenity. And that is this. Let's say that if you had the ability to have life and to live life on life's terms, and that would be serenity. Serenity for me gives me the ability to live life on life's terms and not as I would have them. Also, my definition is serenity releases the resentments and guilt of the past. Also, it has taught me to avoid the fears of tomorrow. I would say that serenity is available through the 12 steps, tools, and slogans of Al-Anon and a relationship with God to live today in peace, courage, and hope. And so I say that in advance because this particular page is very special to me. And it goes a little bit like this. I began my path to serenity when I read page 166 of the One Day at a Time daily reader. And on that page, it began with a question. So, Pat, I would ask you and our listeners this question. If there was a pill filled with 12 ingredients that could change your life for the better, would you take it? What do you think your answer would be? Well, for me, I came back with another question, and it went like this. Well, what's the side effect? What is the side effect of this pill? And to me, the answer is serenity. So what I described earlier is the result of this question. And so I took the 12 ingredients of this pill. This page says to me the 12 ingredients are the 12 steps of AA. And I notice when I miss my daily dose of medicine, my day is not as fruitful or optimistic as I would like it. So for me, healthy recovery begins and continues with the medicine of the 12 steps, the Al-Anon tools and slogans. And that's how my ODAT, my One Day at a Time daily reader, helps me in my recovery process. I have many favorite pages in that reader, but I think that really has always stood out to me first and foremost because I so desperately wanted to help, but I didn't know how to go about getting it and the process. And I was all ready for that pill, for that medicine that would give me the serenity I so desired.
Yeah, and it's funny when you mentioned side effects, I was thinking just automatically like it would be a bad thing, like side effects are always bad. But in this case, the side effects are good things.
They certainly are, and it's the things that we reap from that. And in my case, there has never been anything negative, not one bad side effect from the program of Al-Anon as well as the 12 steps.
Yeah, and when I was reading this page about the idea of, if there was a pill you could take, to me I thought, well, it's not like a magic one-time only pill. It's definitely a process, and sort of like if you decide you want to eat healthy, it's not like you just eat one big healthy meal and think you're set for the rest of your life. A continual...
That's a good analogy, right.
Continual eating healthy, making healthy decisions throughout the day. Just like we have to eat several times a day, we're practicing the program several times a day as well.
Or many.
Or, yeah, many little decisions throughout the day. But to me, it was about making healthy decisions, because in the past I was always making decisions that made me sick, whether it was sick mentally, emotionally, or physically, being sick to my stomach physically. And I was making my spirit sick. And I think this gets back to the reading mentions a medicine that you can take to feel better and feel healthy. I just keep coming back to the word healthy you can have health as a side effect.
I love that. And one thing I have learned in Al-Anon is that it's just as you said. It's not like, well, okay, I'll eat my Brussels sprouts today and then I'll be healthy for the rest of my life. That this is a way of living, really. And when we take our daily dose of the program, of the steps, of our spiritual growth, then it's really it's like hitting the reset button on our very being and on our soul, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I love it.
Yeah, that's a great reading right there. The other thing I was just going to mention about One Day at a Time, the book there, and I know you mentioned that it was the very first one published. I found out it's the only daily reader that has an appendix, not to be confused with an index. It has an appendix, and it's a little section in the back of the book regarding notes about quotes throughout the book. And I just wanted to point out that the particular reading you chose from page 166, which is June 14th, the particular quote on that page, which I can't read it verbatim, but if our listeners would go to that quote in that book, they'll see that there is an asterisk for that particular quote, which you need to go to the appendix to find out why there's an asterisk there and what the meaning is behind that asterisk. So that's a little kind of Easter egg hunt there for our listeners to find out what I'm talking about.
I'm looking at it now. Ooh, I did not know that. So I've learned something new today about my favorite page.
Got to look out for the asterisk in that book. Quite a few things I learned from those. So we'll just take a break now. This is where we're going to hear a few words from one of our sponsors.
Service sponsorship, personal leadership. I learned how to be a good leader by consulting with others, by learning from my service sponsor, learning how to give and take, and practicing the ability to compromise with love. I learned that it's okay to have an opinion. It's okay to say no. It's okay to stick to my convictions. It's okay to agree to disagree with love. I learned when to take my own inventory and admit when I'm wrong. I learned to apply the personal leadership skills to my family life and my work life. 3 C's: consulting, coordinating, communicating.
All right. Thanks for those wise words from a sponsor, in this case a service sponsor, which is great to have as well. Well, this actually wraps up part 1 of 2 of episode 2. Part 2 of 2 is a separate show, and it's also available to listen to and download if you like. And thanks for listening, and happy reading.